Yeah, good afternoon, guys. Hey, just first of all, going back to last Thursday night, just obviously disappointed we didn't get the win. Felt like we played at times good enough to go win that game and then give ourselves a chance in the last drive. I felt our whole sideline, everybody felt very confident we'd go win the game, and we didn't get it done. I thought our guys did a good job. We came back in on Friday once we got back that afternoon and went over that game, kind of put it to bed. And moving forward to BG, I think that environment was a tough environment for our offense. I think to operate certainly with the kind of noise we had. I did think our kids played with great poise and discipline. That's one thing we focused on the offseason was being a disciplined team. I think we had 4 penalties, all false starts, but other than that, we guys played clean. Thought special teams was very solid, including the first kickoff return that we had. Got very good positive yards on that. I thought we covered punts well, knocked down our field goal, so it was certainly a positive for us, something we can build off of for sure. Defensively, I thought they played very solid, played hard, did not give up any big plays. They had about 40 minutes and to hold them, to what we did, I thought they did an outstanding job with that. Obviously, I think, get off the field a little bit more on third downs, maybe, if you had to knock some things on defense. The other thing would be, they had the ball on the ground a couple of times, and we got a fall on the ball, and then Logan had an opportunity for a pick six in that game as well. You got to take advantage of those opportunities defensively, so we can try to win that turnover margin. That was huge for us. Obviously, the difference in the game was the turnovers, the one right before the half, and then obviously at the end of the game. So, but moving on this week, BG, I think watching their game from last week. Guys play hard, they're coached well. Coach George and his staff have done a really good job. We went back and watched Tennessee State as well. Did some really good things there also. These guys will play hard, there's no question about it. They play physical. Going back to BG last year, I think they lost to Penn State by a touchdown, Texas A&M by 6. We're not going to be intimidated about coming in here playing. So we certainly got to continue to elevate our play with the same intensity, execute better at a higher level in order to go out and play a great game this week.
Question for Coach?
On that last play, there was some mention of them disguising coverages, Nebraska. Had they shown that look where cover 1 and then drop back into cover 2, or was that something that they kind of surprised you with?
Yeah, I thought, just first of all, going into the game, you don't really know what they were going to do back in the back end. Thought the strength of their defense was the back end. All the starters that came back. They in that drive, we don't have any timeouts. They were playing a lot of man and 2-man trail technique, meaning they're underneath receivers with the 2 high safeties there. It makes it very difficult to complete footballs. And I think we had a couple scrambles that got the drive going. Great play on 4th down. Cyrus, it was 2-man and the guys undercutting him, and he did a great job of pushing it out and sort of hitting him to get the first down. Then we get a PI. We get down and it's first down on the plus 33, 41 seconds, no timeouts. We said, let's take a shot. All right, so we run slant and go. And pre-snap, it looks a 1 high look, looks like man free. Right on the snap, the safety is covering our number 2 receiver, just runs straight back to that, to the deep half of the field. The corner's a hard corner because it's cover 2, so Goody's running the slant and go. As soon as he comes off the corner, he's wide open. And Sorsby sees it, he's wide open, let me get it out there to him. As he's letting the ball go, he realizes the safety's running back, and he's like, uh-oh. And the guy made a great play. Number 7's a good player for them. That disguise is a great disguise and a great play by that safety. We had not seen that, but I thought obviously a great call for them. But our thought process was, hey, let's throw the slant and go. It's either we catch or nobody catches. It'll be 2nd and 10, and let's go to the next down. Obviously made a great play to end the game right there.
In your time with Brennan, what have you seen from him in those kind of moments? I mean, he makes the big mistake, whether it's against West Virginia last year, against Nebraska. Is he someone who might dwell a little bit? Does he move on really quickly? What is he like?
Yeah, obviously I think it's difficult as a quarterback. When you're in a position, if you make a negative play, you have to forget it. You have to move on. You have to go on to the next play, but that's the last play. So now you got to live with that one until we get out here on Saturday. I thought he did a good job, Sunday. Friday we come back in and we watch the film and put it to bed. And obviously frustration is in the building. Sunday we went out and practiced, a more of an extended Sunday practice for us, and I thought really good job of going out. The guys practiced hard. and really focused on this week. You know, I think you got to put it to bed. You can't dwell on that. You got to learn from it. I thought, you know, it was a great play by them. Obviously, if he had it over, he would have thrown it wider and deeper, and where we catch it, nobody catches it. You know, but it's something you have to learn from, and you have to move on, and so you don't make that same mistake again.
You have Drew Pine this week. He's
Yep.
been all over the place. Do you go as far back to 2021 when he played for Notre Dame against UC?
No, I don't think you go back that far. I think, you know, obviously he's playing a lot of different programs. The thing that he's obviously got a lot of talent, probably very smart player. In order to start at Ford, that's hard to do. I mean, as a quarterback, he's to start at this many places and schools and to be able to continue to play. And you know, so he's certainly got a lot of experience. You're not going to, you know, show him anything that he hasn't already seen. He does a really good job. Got great mechanics, accurate passer. You know, so certainly a capable quarterback that can do everything they're asking him to do. I think they have some outstanding running backs at BG that really run hard and fast. They're, you know, mainly last week relied on the run. Now, obviously, new week, week number 2, we'll see what kind of wrinkles they present themselves this week.
Scott, Brendan mentioned to us last week that you trust him more. Is there something in particular that you can point to that can help him and this team push the ball further down the field throughout the game and not wait to do that until the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I mean, we threw 5, I think it was 5, we were 0 for 5 on balls that were thrown down the field last week. You know, and I think, you know, early we had one to Jeff Caldwell. We pushed down the field. We had 2 fade balls to Cyrus. You know, love for Cyrus to come up with those catches. They were both probably underthrown a little bit, but he can make those catches. One of them would have been a touchdown. The other one was a false start, so they called it back. The first play of the game is Goody down the sideline. So I think certainly you have to pick and choose when we're going to push the ball down the field. I think more completion percentages. I think we want to get that up. I mean, I think it was this past weekend 52%. So we want to get that up. To me, get the ball in the hands of these guys. Our guys can run, so get the ball in their hands and let them run. Now, I think obviously a lot of defense dictates this. Are you getting, you know, what kind of coverage are you getting? Are you getting some free access throws? Obviously, that's easy to take those, but when you're getting tight man, that's where our guys have to win. You know, BG, they certainly have shown man covers at Tennessee State and last week at BG. So, you know, our guys will be challenged. They got to get loose. They got to win some one-on-one matchups, and they got to go make the plays.
Coach, you mentioned Eddie George's first year at Bowling Green. Talk about what kind of challenges that might present for your home opener on Saturday, knowing first year under Eddie George, great NFL resume. Talk about the challenges that might present for a team like Cincinnati. Well,
I mean, you know, you playing a team like I mentioned earlier that they don't care who they're playing. They're going to show up and play and expect to win. I think I've played against a bunch of MAC teams, including Miami. I mean, you know, these guys, man, they love playing a team that's at the power level. You know, they want to prove that they belong playing at the power level. So you're going to get their best shot. You're going to get guys that are going to be more focused and dialed in, something to prove, all those type things. And so, you know, for our guys, it's got to be a great week this week and going out and trying to build off of what we did, the positives that we did last week, and get the things corrected that we didn't do well. So it's always a challenge, I think, when you're playing a team like a MAC team that's always going to be hungry and always trying to prove something when they play up. So, you know, Coach George and his staff, a lot of guys from the NFL are on his staff. You know, this game's not going to be big for them as far as any other game. I mean, they're going to be having their guys prepared to play. We're going to get their best shot. We know that.
Scott, just curious on how you continue to rotate the 2 running backs. Looked like Tawi had a pretty good game this past week, having limited carries. How do you go about that rotation moving forward?
Yeah, I thought both made some really good plays in the run game. You know, Evan made some guys miss and got some positive yards. Tawi ran hard as well, got positive yards. I thought that certainly was a positive in the game for us offensively. Rushed for over 200 yards. I think Nebraska last year finished up maybe 8th in the country in run defense. So, I mean, they're certainly capable of stopping the run. And then you add that to Q runs as well, that Brendan, I think it's a great mix. You know, I think we'll see how practice goes this week to see, you know, who's going to get those touches. Certainly, you know, looking back on it, could have gotten more touches because we were getting some positive. I think they were averaging over 7 yards a carry. You know, so let them guys continue to get work. And obviously, it's going to move the chains, you know, and I think all those guys are capable. I think Manny's capable as well. Manny, I thought, played outstanding in the special teams. I think he had 2.5 tackles in special teams. He also was our punt returner. I think he's really elevated himself in a special teams player, but also believe in him as a running back too. So we'll see how this week goes with those guys, but I think they're all capable.
Your run blocking obviously did okay. Any issues with the pass blocking and the struggles to throw downfield? Was there anything there that someone like me might not see?
No, I don't think so. I thought the pass pro was pretty good. I thought obviously the run blocking was good up front. I thought our offensive line played solid. We had 0 tackles for loss or sacks in the run game. I think we had 2 negative plays, and both were on pass plays, a screen play, and then a swing pass to Cyrus. So I thought up front they did good. I thought they passed pro well. I think only a couple of times where it sort of felt like he needed to get out of the pocket on some pass rush. But I think for the first game and playing against the front like Nebraska, I thought our O-line did a really fine job.
40 snaps for Dante, is that about the range? Do you look back and say maybe we could have gotten out there a little bit more? Is there a number on that? Does it feel? Because he was super effective when he was out there.
Yeah, I think he could probably get a little bit more. I think we went back and looked toward the end of last year when he was healthy. It was roughly around the same. Jay Hunt had 41, which was the most. Dante second most at 40. We certainly want to rotate guys in there because you got to keep them fresh in the D-line for the end of half and end of game scenarios. And obviously you want those guys in critical downs for sure. But I think, looking back on it, I mean, obviously we chart everything and we got, these guys wear the catapults and we see where they're at. I think Dante's got a little bit more in the tank if we need to use him a little bit more, but obviously, we want him to play at an optimal level. You don't want to leave some guys out there and all of a sudden now they're at 75% when injuries happen. So we certainly want to keep those guys fresh and rotate and see where we're at, as we head throughout the season. But around, 40 to 45 snaps is probably going to be where he's going to be.
What did you see from your defense, especially kind of the depth guys like JT, Brian Sims, Marcus Parker, all that good games?
Yeah, very productive. JT, very productive. Golday, very productive. I thought Monte, all those guys. I thought, man, it's just a really good rotation at the linebacker position. Where Sincere played too. I think we played 7 guys, rotated them, and it's really not a drop off. I mean, I really think different guys have different strengths and they bring it to the table. But the thing that they did, they played extremely hard. They ran it and they hit the ball carriers. They made plays, and I think we're certainly going to need that. Our linebackers are going to make plays for us, just the way our defense is. They're going to be some of the top tacklers. Along with that star position where Sinks is, and I think in peak, I think we're certainly going to continue to see the play out of linebackers, and I like what we did. We brought some of those guys, we got some sacks out of those guys as well. So we got to continue to be able to do that.
Scott, you mentioned the frustration that was in the building when you were watching the film back from that game. Last 2 years, you win your first game against FCS opponents, get to 1-0. What differences have you noticed from after week 1, your first 2 years here, and now this season? Yeah, you're 0-1, but you just played a FBS Power 4 opponent to a 3-point game in essentially their backyard.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I said this last week, this is a different team. I feel like, these guys are, man, I love being around them. They come to work every day. We have talent, we have depth, we have opportunity to have a special team. Now, obviously, we know, week in and week out, once we get to Big 12 play, I mean, all those teams are good. We've seen that. Any more in college football, they're all good. Everybody you play. So you got to take it one game at a time. But for us and our team and this team is continue to grow and is continue to develop and continue to get better as a football team. We think we have an opportunity to have a special team now, but you do it one day at a time. And I like where they were Sunday when they came in. They were focused. They were dialed in. They're hungry. They're eager to prove that we do have a special team. But you have to show that every single day. It's not a one-time thing. This is a consistent thing that you have to bring every single day. And that's kind of what we focused on, and we've talked about it every single day. We will continue to talk about that. So, but I think, for us, it's all about BG this week, about going out and playing our very best game.
You mentioned the line of scrimmage touches. It did look like they gave you a ton against Nebraska. Was that more a them thing, or when you watched the film back, was there kind of some misassignments or plays blown up on that execution?
On what play? I mean, like what are you talking
like
about?
screens, line of scrimmage
Oh yeah,
touches.
Well, yeah, I mean, some missed execution on our part, you know, and then missed assignment on one play. The other play, I thought we got three guys to block the linebacker, we don't block him, and he gets, that was the tackle for loss of one. I mean, because you watch the film, we get him blocked, there's nobody else there, that's a huge play. I forget what down the distance was, we had Pryor in the flat, and he dropped it, and he'll tell you, I mean, he probably could score on that play. There's nobody else there. Like, he catches that, he's gonna be on the safety that's 15 yards down the field. We've seen what Pryor can do in the open field. There's just a couple opportunities like that. Like, if we hit some of those, I mean, there could be another 50, 60, 70 yards in the passing game, and they're big plays. You know, and I think if you're going back and looking at that was part of the frustration. Go back and look at it, man, we had plays there we could have made that we didn't. And you know, we have to make those though. You can only get a few opportunities where you have guys open and free. You know, Cyrus on the fade ball in the end zone. I mean, you know, sort of to get a little bit further out there, Cyrus go up and catch. You know, we have to make those plays because they're not just presenting themselves every play. They're few and far between, but they're there. You got to make them. You know, Pryor, he just, you know, you can see it on film. It's right before the ball hits his hands, he's turning his head. I mean, catch that ball, and then you probably score or may score. I mean, so I think it's just execution, and then a little bit of you know, guys just, you know, focusing and finishing the play.
You don't need much motivation, but is there any motivation at all knowing that Cincinnati's never beaten Bowling Green?
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't realize that 4 times. I guess all in the early 90s that we didn't win.
Or was that the last one?
So, I mean, you know, it don't really bother me or matter to me. I mean, we're right now is where we're at. You know, we got to go try to get 1-0 this week against Bowling Green. You know, certainly they have a really good football team. They're coached well, so we got to have a great week this week of our preparation, going out and playing our best game.
Looking at Bowling Green defensively, what kind of challenges do they present?
Yeah, I think aggressive. You know, right when you flip on the film, a lot of man coverage, a lot of DBs getting in their face. They're handsy. They're going to get their hands on the wideouts. They're going to make a challenge for you to get off the line to go make plays. I think 3 and 4 are outstanding linebackers. They made all their tackles. I felt like Saturday. You know, 3 is a guy they signed from Massillon that's playing inside. I think 4 transferred in, and they made a lot of plays. We got to block those. If you don't block those guys, they're going to be on the tackle. And then I think obviously their safeties are aggressive to come down and make plays as well. So I think they do a really good job scheme-wise. They're always in the places they need to be into. They don't really get out of position much. And even going back to Tennessee State was the same way. They put a lot of pressure and challenge the offense to make plays. They don't give you anything. You have to go out and make the play. So, yeah, I think they do a great job. Coach Fisher's a DC and does a really good job.
Does having a game like Nebraska game 1 kind of change the thought process going forward? Like, there's no easing into the season now. You played Nebraska, you're 0-1. You've got to build from there. Does it change kind of the next steps?
You know, I don't know if it changes anything. I like playing a team like Nebraska coming out the chute because of how your preparation's got to be on point all summer and in the fall camp. You got to be dialed in to try to elevate your game to play and know what kind of game that's going to be. I think the challenge now is to continue to bring the kind of intensity and focus that we had leading up to the Nebraska game. I think human nature, the tendency is, to have a letdown in your focus and your preparation. Like, we can't have that. Like, it's got to be as hard to practice today as we had last Tuesday practice, to get ready for Nebraska. I think that's the challenge that we'll present to our guys, and they'll be up to that challenge.
Scott, going back to Bowling Green, special teams played a big role in their win last week. Opening kickoff, return for a touchdown, 4 field goals. How much of an emphasis are you putting on your special teams this week?
That's a great challenge for our guys this week. Coach George, when he got there, he kept their special teams coordinator from BG from last year because he did such a great job. Last year, they did the same thing. They had the opening kickoff for a touchdown, which is hard to do. To do it again this year, I think that guy who returned at number 26, I think is his number. He's a 4-core special team guy for them. He's a great player for them. Their punter's back from last year. He's really good. Their field goal kicker obviously had a great day. I think he was the max special teams player of the week, nailing a 56-yarder, 4 field goals. So this is a really good special teams on VG, and I think we have to match and try to exceed that, intensity when we play these guys. You better be on point. If you're not focused on your team, then they will beat you in a play. They will either, attempt at a block, they will get a big return on you. So yeah, this is a big challenge for our teams this week.
Neil, final question?
Coach, coming off a game on ESPN on Thursday night in week 1 per se, does that kind of play in a little bit of an advantage, having those few extra days heading into a SES matchup in week 2 for a home opener?
Yeah, BG's got the same. They played on Thursday as well, so I do think I like playing on the opening week on a Thursday because you do get 2 extra days to get ready, especially on a road trip for us. We got back at 5:45 on Friday morning, so to get that extra rest, body recover. We came out of the game healthy, and I think that's good. So Sunday's practice was really good for us, and I think now that's going to move into Tuesday. So yeah, I like having a couple extra days for sure when you're starting the season off to give you some extra time.
Final question.
Any update on Romani Arnold? Didn't see him on the field.
Yeah. I mean, I think came in Sunday feeling much better. So hopefully this week, we'll see how practice goes for Armani. But he's been battling some stuff all August, in and out of practice. Didn't practice a whole lot. So hopefully he says he feels better this week. We'll see where we're at this week. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.